This is Lance from Lance's Auto Vlog, and I'm back with another video. So today we got a Lambo to work on. Let's check it out. So we're gonna do some stuff to this. We haven't figured out what we're gonna do yet, but we got some stuff to work on. So let's check it out.
What's up, Mr. Lance?
I'm good. So we're gonna do some speaker upgrades in this thing, keep the OEM radio. So we got the Lambo radio going on here. Pop the grill off on that side. So we're gonna take this thing apart and figure out what's gonna fit and how it's gonna work, and we'll work backwards from there. Maybe consider doing a sub in here, maybe at 8 or 10, I'm not sure yet, but stay tuned. Should be a really good video. All right, peace. So now we got the Lamborghini apart. We found that this car does not have an amp. We got the door panels off. Audi 8-inch driver, tweeted in the dash. So we got to make adapters for this. And then we found out we have to pull the center console out, or at least pull it apart to find out where the connections for the amplifier are. And then everything's down here. So we got speaker outs directly from here, from this plug. You can see, I don't know if you can see it well, but it's right here. So we got to grab that signal from there and then run all the wires out, and we're in business. And the saga continues. That console took about, it takes about an hour to figure out how to get it apart. So we're back in the Lamborghini. We got a lot of the work done. We didn't film a lot of it, but we got the door speakers set up. We went with the Hertz ML1800s. We made some spacers out of HDPE. They still need to be wired, but they're in. And you can see both the door panels off physically. We also did the sub, which is kind of crazy. This guy, we got a sub in here. A single 10-inch behind the C here. And like I said, I'll get that on video, get some more light in here a little bit. But we're gonna get this thing set up, tuned, set up the inputs. This particular setup in this car has only left and right inputs coming off the actual radio. So as you can see, when we took the console apart here, which is pretty simple, you take these two screws out, take these two screws out here. This simple plate pops right out. This thing comes out. You take the screen out, 4 screws, and then you have 2 screws holding this piece in and 2 screws holding this in. They're all Torx. So this piece comes out, and then you have access to the actual tuner module of the car. And then, like I said, it only had a left and right. The tweeters were tied in directly to the drivers, but the easiest way to access that was to run wires from the tweeters independently and then grab the signal for here, just the drivers, for the mid-bass drivers. And then we ran everything through a hole we created in there, and I'll try to shed some light on that so you can see it better. But we drilled 2 holes in through the firewall, which do a section of plastic, and then we mounted the amp underneath the bonnet. So we'll set this up, I'll videotape that, and then we'll work backwards from there. So another day. Let's get this thing dialed in. Let's start the CD back over again. I gotta go back to the beginning of the track. Let's turn the levels up. Oh man, we got signal. So let's set this up. Configuration. We're doing front and left and right input. And signal sense to turn the thing on. We're gonna go musical reference. And the only thing that sucks about these radios, this is the Audi radio, is the volume control. You can't tell how loud it is, but we're just gonna figure it out. So we're gonna set up musical and hit go. And it's gonna be full range. I'm sorry about the beeping, but this is what we gotta work with. And we got good signal, greens. Now we're gonna go to track 2, which is pink noise. Hit enter and hit go. Now we hurry up and wait again, because this takes a while. I'm gonna go next. Yeah, we know that. I'm gonna go tweeter. This, we're gonna bridge this one, and we're gonna run a sub, and we're gonna bridge that one. So we're doing tweeter, independent, mid-bass drivers for the front doors and subs, and we're gonna bridge here for the mid-bass drivers, and here for the sub going to that 10. So that the X is for the bridged. So we should be go to the next step. Then we gotta change the output, so we know the tweeters. We label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we gotta label it that way. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we got a green car. We got a green car, we move forward. Then we finalize it. And then I always like to do a base crossover setup, just to make sure everything's good. So what I'll do is on tweeters, they're Hertz tweeters, and these are actually Milli Pro tweeters. So we got to set up the output. Let's run the volume here. Let's bring the volume up here. Let's do the crossovers now, since we're thinking about it. So I like to put the device in, make sure the device is in working mode and expert, which it should be. Let's cross these tweeters over. Let's go down here. Let's go 2500 at 24 dB per octave. And make sure the crossovers are linked so the tweeters are both the same. Mute the left. Okay, I hear the right. To the mid bass, we're gonna do that band pass at 2500 at 24 dB per octave. And the reason why I do 24 dB per octave is if you go here, like say you go to like the left front driver and you go control tweeter, and then you have control here, and then you go EQ, you can see that there's no dip in the crossover point. So, but if I go to like this one here and I go 12 dB per octave, see there's a dip in the actual crossover point where the tweeters and mids blend together. So that's why I always go 24 dB per octave. So you can see that. And then we'll do the sub at 80 Hertz. And we can always play with the crossover point on the mid bass driver on the roll off. But we always go hit the sub. We make sure that's 80 at 12 dB. And then we finalize it. And then we got to hook up the, let's see, I'm going to copy this to B, memory A to B, so it's locked in. I just got to finalize it again one more time. But once I do that, I'll plug the tweeters in and I'll check the polarity on with a polarity checker just to make sure I wired them correctly, because they're currently not hooked up, and then we'll go from there. So everything's finalized, I can close this out, and then what I'll do is I'll wire up the mid drivers, check them with a polarity checker, and then go from there. All right. Now we check the polarity, make sure this driver's good. 2 greens, 3 greens, and 1 red. You're in business. Good. So now all we gotta do is solder the wires and put it back together. So the Aventador is a wrap. It's all together. Took me a couple hours to retune this car because it took a while to figure out some things going on in the car as far as acoustic. The car has an awesome bass. So we got the panels back together. Factory tweeter, factory location for the tweeter. And we got the sub behind the seat. Audison off the factory Lamborghini radio. You know, everything's basically tapped into the factory system itself. We added a Bluetooth device in here. We got it done. And we got the amp underneath the bonnet, or the hood, whatever you want to call it. We got the Audison amp under there. And the car's a wrap. Stay tuned for another video. Peace.